All right, so got the new cage from S3 Powersports, and I wanted to weigh it because how do we quantify stuff that's quality? We find out how much it weighs and say, oh, it's heavy, so it's good. I'm assuming that's true in this case. So, kind of borrowing the kid's play set, but you know, it's off the ground and it's hanging, and use the old trusty Amazon scale, and we're looking at 86, 87 pounds, getting real close so you can actually see it. 86.8, that's what it's been saying. All right, so turned the two-seater into a cabriolet, and the one thing I really wanted to do was show you two-seat weighs about somewhere around 58, 59 pounds. Don't know if you can see that. Hopefully you can read that. 58.4. It's kind of fluctuating, swinging around a little bit. And you know, remember the S3 cage weighs significantly more than that. So really excited about the extra strength that's in there. Yeah, I realize that, you know, the cage from Can-Am, this doesn't, I'm not weighing one that has factory intrusion bars. Maybe somebody below in the comments can tell me what a pair of set of intrusion bars weighs for the X3 platform. Be really curious to know that and kind of get an idea on what the real difference in the weight is from one cage to the other. Yeah, there's a few little doodads, like my fire extinguisher mount is on there still, and the rear view mirror is on there as well. I'll be moving the rear view mirror and the fire extinguisher over to the new cage, and yeah, really looking forward to getting on there. Gonna do the seats, gonna clean up all the mounting posts, and then I'm gonna do and paint those, let them dry, and then I'm gonna do the seat install. That'll be a separate video, and I will post both of those. I'm committed to posting both of those this week. I kind of got a little bit behind. Right now, while I'm filming these is all the coronavirus nonsense. Hopefully that hope everybody that is watching this got through it okay. It's really terrible, and I'm frustrated. I'm a little scared, and I'm kind of sad, you know, because there's a lot of people dying that, you know, maybe didn't have to. So yeah, couple things about actually cutting these things off. You have to cut 4 posts off. You have to remove a bunch of the plastics. I drilled out the rivets. Maybe there's a better way, but you know, this kind of like this dash plastic that you're looking at right here on these things, man, it is tough. It's not flexible. You know, it's actually the area behind the dash. I wouldn't call it a firewall, but it's that piece of plastic that goes over the fuel tank and all that kind of stuff. You got to remove all the plastics basically from the front end. The rear is a lot easier. The 2 bolts in the rear that hold the post down that mount the resis to are 13 millimeter. I found it easiest to just pull all of these screws out of the top right here, and then once I pulled those, it was easy to get in there, and then, you know, the fasteners go right through there. You'll just stick the 13 millimeter up below that to get it out. I did pull the little T, I think it's a T15, you know, back here. It holds the whole headlight or tail light assembly back there. So that's it. One tip on actually cutting the cage off. It's got, well, I'll show you right here. So it's got these gussets, right? So it's got these gussets that actually help attach and reinforce the tube where it connects to the frame. I found this was the passenger rear. The rears are actually pretty easy. You cannot have enough Sawzall blades when you're doing this. I went through 2 batteries, and I am super impressed with my DeWalt frickin' Sawzall. That thing came out like a champ out of this one. Anyway, back to this. I found for the front, it was easiest to cut off all the gussets. So you cut the gussets off, and then after you cut the gussets off, you can go straight through and cut through the tubing. I really think that was what I found to be the easiest. Death wheel didn't really work that well for whatever reason, not totally sure on that. Couldn't really get it in there. But yeah, get a lot of Sawzall blades and have at it. It took me, probably working continuously, it took me a little over 2 hours. But I honestly, I think I'm slow. Wear safety glasses, wear gloves. All this stuff is freaking razor sharp in there. But yeah, totally worth it, I think. The S3 cage looks awesome. I can't wait to see it on there. The way it drops the roof line, cleans up the lines. I've always thought that the factory cage had a little bit too much of the arch, especially in the two-seater. You can kind of see it, whenever you look at, how that kind of arches there on the Max, how it goes up and over and all that kind of thing. The S3 cage, I think personally really cleans that up. And yeah, just excited to have it on a vehicle. So all in all, I think it's a project worth doing. I just, man, took me a lot longer than I wanted it to. I thought it was going to be quick and easy and I wouldn't have to pull that much plastic. This is the first time I ever pulled this part, these plastics off. There's a rivet that I drilled out here, and then there's 2 rivets. There's one there, and then there's another one all the way in there. There's some more. It's easiest to see from here. There's a screw there, and then there's another rivet like holding in the dash, this dash plastic that's covered up by, the red plastics right there. So yeah, rock on. Look at that power steering motor. This is something that, you never really get a good look at if your plastics aren't off the car. So it's, they're pretty beefy, pretty big. I think it's probably going to be something I upgrade. I've got a torque locker in my Max. I'm going to put a halo locker in it. Or see what it costs to actually see if I can get a good deal on a used smart lock front locker. We do the short course stuff a lot. It Texplex, and so I really would like that 3-wheel drive just because it gets you through the corners so much faster. And it's, the steering, the amount of steering input you have to have, it's you got to really learn how to drive that torque locker. I like it a lot. Traction, 10 out of 10. I mean, it is awesome. If you're crawling, if you do a lot of crawling and those type of things, and we do that whenever we go on trips, typically we'll go to like southwestern Colorado, go to the San Juans for 10 days every year and go ride all over there, it's awesome riding, and you don't notice it whenever you're doing that unless you're on the switchbacks. And then it's a quick driving that is, I'll review that later, but it's a lift, turn, reapply the throttle, and there you go. But yeah, awesome unit, incredible traction. Not for a short course, which is where I have the most fun with these cars. It's not the right application for that, because you got a lot of really sharp corners and a lot of hairpins and a lot of turns and a lot of transitions. And I just think I enjoy driving the 2-seater better. And a lot of that comes down to the actual steering and the steering feel. I still have to put the Hess rack in there and the bump steer delete kit. I've got it literally sitting in one of my cabinets over there. I got to take the time to do it. I kind of got excited about this, this new this 2-seater, and it really put a lot of my time and effort into that. Other reviews I've got coming are show me videos. I've got the Blizzard intercooler from Evo for the 4-seater. Strangely enough, I'm actually running the Power Tune stage 3 intake injector, all that kind of stuff. This car, my intention was to have a full Evo stage 3 on this thing by like May. Not happening with work. I'm in sales, and coronavirus sucks. But all right, so got the S3 cage. I've used it now for about 4 hours on the machine, and feel like, that gives me a good ability to talk about it. Haven't put it on its lid since then, but really like the cage. Fit great. No trimming of any of the plastics or anything like that you're gonna see there. I did unfortunately
you know, I did not do a super clean job back here, cleaning up or making space for I guess the ABC pillar. Right there, as you can see, it's a few death wheel marks. Believe it or not, the other side is actually better. I'm not going to walk around there. Things to think about: clearance for my head. With a helmet on, I also did PRP seats at the exact same time that I was doing the cage. I didn't have enough clearance for my head between the top of my helmet and the cage. I don't know how much you actually want, but I had like 2 inches, so that didn't work for me. Just because, you know, I knew that I would be drifting up even with the belt super tight. I'd be lifting up out of the seat and my head would be tapping the cage. It actually happened a few times just in my yard when I was testing it. There's a little lip that I can hit coming out of my yard. So, you know, that was cool. Overall, I would say these are some of the guys to buy a cage from. They look great. The powder coat is spot on. Cage matches the only place you can really see the frame there. Also matches their shock tower brace really, really well. Added quite a bit of weight, as you guys know from the video. I did go ahead and drill and mount. It's probably not the best place for it from a signal standpoint, and maybe there's not enough of a ground plane, and I can't remember if the antenna from Rugged is a non-ground plane antenna or not. But regardless, you know, I ended up mounting the antenna right in the center. The D-Zeus fasteners, or however you actually say it, are awesome. Took the roof off to mount it. The other thing that still worked, obviously, was the PRP window nets from the original factory cage. Those worked. They don't fit exactly the right way, but I really like window nets. I want to keep my hands and arms inside the vehicle at all times because I like my hands and arms. I've seen, you know, I'm sure everybody out there has seen, you know, a bunch of really bad buggy rollovers. Haven't really seen the actual, you know, carnage left over from it. But, you know, I put my kids in these things, so it's been a good change, or it's been a nice thing because that was $250 that, you know, I didn't have to re-spend. And I've got the window nets on the 4-seater as well. The big thing with that is they're made a lot differently. So these use like the Fastex buckles on their window nets for the Max cars. These use cool flip-lock fasteners, which are magnetic, and so there's these little pull tabs that you just pull. You can pull on them like crazy, and they don't come off. Like, and then, you know, but just pull that. Really like the window nets. Don't impact the function of the doors in any way, shape, or form. They really, really add a lot of safety for me. I did do the intrusion bars on the front. It's also, for any of the other videos that you've seen, this is where I've got my GoPro mount, right in the center. The last video I actually shot with the Hero 7 Black, and because I'm having issues with my Hero 8 Black for whatever reason, or one of them. Kind of unfortunate, but hopefully I'll figure that out. Gonna do a quick review in a few minutes on the different Rugged radio mount setup between the two different cars and go from there. Cool, rock on, guys.